Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. You are watching Topics and Tea. I am Natanya. This is Virtuous Living's Topics and Tea, where we have our weekly topic. We have our tea, our physical tea, and our spiritual tea. And we talk about how we can be virtuous women in today's society, virtuous women in the 21st century, virtuous women according to what God wrote in Proverbs 31. Come on in here. Y'all already know the drill. Come on in here. Come on in here. So, while you guys come in here, I'm going to let you know what I am drinking. And then I will go ahead and get started to the lesson because I actually have a very busy evening. So, we're not going to be up here long. I'll be kind of surprised if I do this for like the full probably 30 minutes that I usually do topics and tea. So we won't be up here long. I just got a word for you today. And as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about a woman who can reset. A woman who can reset. Come on in here. So, my mug today is part of my package that came as a gift from my spiritual parents, Prophet Philip Tarver and Pastor Vondria Tarver. This is says, "Let all that you do be done in love," and it is 1 Corinthians 16:14. Let all that you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. This is what my mug looks like, and inside today, I am drinking apple tangerine orange tea. Okay, so I used apple juice as my base, a little bit of water, and a little bit of honey, and I used tangerine orange was the tea bag that I used. I used two of those, and again, like I said, I used apple juice as my base, and I didn't put any seasonings in it today, just honey and that is a tea I've got going on. And let me tell you what the benefits are. I don't think I've ever had a tangerine tea on Topics and Tea. I thought about that when I made this. I was like, I don't think I ever did a tangerine tea, but today I do. So, apple benefits are they are rich in fiber and they are rich in antioxidants. They are linked to a lower chance of getting many chronic conditions, including diabetes, heart disease, and cancers. Apples also promote weight loss and improve gut and brain health. Oranges, in addition to the vitamin C, oranges keep blood sugar levels in check and reduce high cholesterol to prevent cardiovascular disease. And tangerines are packed with antioxidants, which may support immunity, provide cancer-fighting properties, improve brain, skin, and heart health. Tangerines are sweet and refreshing and can be enjoyed in numerous dishes, and that is so true. I really like tangerines. Um, Tangerines is something that I grew up eating a lot. I don't know why, but my grandma really liked tangerines, so we had them in the house often. So I probably ate tangerines a little bit more than oranges at grandma's house because that was just something we all love. So tangerine is kind of bringing me some childhood memories today. So come on in here, y'all. Plus, it's fall time. This is our first topics and tea for the fall because I don't think last month was the first day of fall yet, or it may have been. So it is fall time. So come on in here, you guys. And I'm excited. It's a new season. Literally, we say that often spiritually, but it is really a new season. It's a new day. And this is my first topics and tea in a new decade. You guys know I just had a birthday, or some of you may know I just had a birthday. So I just turned 30 a few days ago. And new decade, new everything. I am just it is it's a lot, and we'll talk about it more as God downloads more into me about this new decade, new dimension. I feel like I'm in new everything. We'll talk more about that, but let's get into this work because, like I said, I got a busy night tonight, and we're not gonna be up here long. So today's word is she can reset, R-E-S-E-T. And as you can see from my shirt, it says reset 2020. This shirt actually was obviously from 2020. This is a gift from Evangelist Doris, and there was an event she was having. It was called Reset 2020. In 2020, and I wasn't able to do it, but she still gave me the t-shirt, and I have it, and I it's the perfect t-shirt for today's word. And I actually never even knew I was going to do a Bible study with this shirt. This Bible study, you guys know Topics and Tea is, about my life. God gives me the topics all different ways. Some things are the things that I've lived through. Some things are things I could just be sitting in a room and it just will drop, Holy Spirit will just drop it into me. Some things are, a trigger from something a friend will say or whatever. You guys know Topics and Tea. I just love how Holy Spirit just gives me things different ways. I never get bored, never get bored. So this word today, reset, actually came from my church musician, and his name is Sam. So on Sunday, we were all in a circle, praying before service started. The worship team, the dancers, and the musicians, we were all in a circle praying. And after the prayer, Sam said, he said that he wanted to put something out there and put something in the atmosphere and that God was putting on his heart. And he started talking about how all of us are enduring some challenges right now. Uh-oh, I better not start this coughingness. Hold on. That's why you got your tea. He said that he knows that we are all going through different situations. He says he knows there's a lot going on in the world and we're all enduring a lot. And he said, it's easy to feel a certain type of way. And he goes and, he describes it. But the part that stuck out to me the most, hence the title, and he says, I really wanted to encourage everyone to kind of reset your emotions. He was like, I want to encourage everyone to reset your emotions. And as soon as he said that, it was like boom, it just hit me. I was like, reset our emotions. And he goes to saying how, basically we get so caught up on what we're going through, but reset it and stay focused on God, stay focused on what God has got you going. And he did, I really wish I would have recorded it. What he said was really powerful and impactful to the whole worship team. Like we really, appreciated it and we all needed it for different areas in our lives. But as he was talking, God was just giving me my topic and tea. He was starting to give me the R. And when he said reset the emotion, it put me into the R, which is, you guys know me and my acronyms. It put me into the R, which is that we have to realize that there is an issue. We have to realize that we need a reset. We have to realize that there is something that should not be, or there's something that can improve, or there's something that we may need to start over, or there's something that we may need to, rethink. And we have to come into a realization. Now, this is the part that I want us to think about. A lot of times we realize there's an issue, but we don't want to realize that we're the issue. So, a part of our today is not only are we asking God for the reset, and we're resetting some things in our life, and we're realizing that there is a need for the reset, but we have to be okay and honest to say, you know what? The whole reason I may need this reset is because of my attitude. The whole reason I may need this reset is because of my mentality. The whole reason I may need this reset is because of the way that I handle things. The whole reason I may need this reset is because I struggle with whatever. We're a culture where we love to blame people, right? We love to say it ain't me, everybody leaves me, I'm the victim, everybody treats me this type of way. We don't want to take accountability. But today when we talk about how we got to realize that there's an issue, we have to really look at, when the words of Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror, and say, you know what? I may be this issue. The reason that I need to reset isn't because other people are acting funny. It ain't because everybody is in their feelings. It ain't because everybody is leaving me. It's not because of woo hoo hoo hoo. It's because of me. So when we say that we need to reset today, we need to not only release, and I'm going to use this word release and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to use that. We need to release that blame game out of our vocabulary and out of our way of thinking. But we need to get to the source of the issue. What is the source? Why? Oh, guys, I have to sneeze. Sorry. This is so weird. Sorry. Oh, I should not come out. Okay. We've got to get to the source. What is the source? Why do we need to reset? Um, as God was downloading this to me for a few hours. I was just getting different downloads and different you know messages and words and all that kind of stuff. And I went after service, after church. I was talking to my friend Leonard, and I was telling him, some things that were on my heart, and I was telling him about how what Sam said. Now Leonard was in the prayer. Leonard's our trumpet player at church. So Leonard was saxophone, excuse me. Leonard was in the prayer, so he heard what Sam said. And I said, Leonard, what do you think the R is? And or something like that. I asked him, and he starts throwing out R words. And the first one that he said was, your R should be that you have to relinquish or release. And I was like, now that's good. That is good. I was like, but my R was realize that there's an issue, because in order to reset, we got to know that we need it. We got to realize. But I said, I love that. And he said, the reason I said relinquish or to release is because, and he told me his part of his testimony is about how a lot of us like to be in control. And we got to learn how to release that. And I was like, you know what? That's so good. And here I am. I'm stealing that from you, Leonard, if you ever watch this replay. We have to learn, yes, we have to realize that there's an issue, but we also have to release the control. Some of us need to realize that we need to release the control. Some of us need to realize that the responsibility that's on us is the reason we need the reset. We need to let that go. We can't really handle it in this period of this time in our lives, or we need to pass it on, or it's time to move on to something different. We need to learn how to release some things. So in order to reset, not only do you have to realize there's an issue, but you got to be willing to release and relinquish the control. I think one of the issues, especially with women, I don't think there's anything wrong. A lot of us are really strong. We're leaders. We're headstrong. We've got that mentality, but a lot of us love control, and we don't know how to be not in control. We don't know how to not be bossy. We don't know how to not be leaders. We don't know how to just sit down and step back. So I think it's important that even as virtuous women, we ask God, Lord, is there some things in my life I need to release the control? God should be the main one of control, not us. And sometimes as humans, we get so focused and we get so used to handling things in ourselves that we don't know how to say, I release control. I release the control. We have to learn how to release it. So, R is realize that there's an issue, and our E, in order to reset in this season, is to elevate our mentality. Elevate our mentality. We have to rise above your current state of mind. You have to rise above your current habits. You got to rise above what you think you know and educate yourself so that you can get better knowledge. We cannot achieve high things with a low mentality. You can only go as far as your mind will let you. You can only go as far as your mentality. You know, I believe it was I'm gonna use his quote in a minute, so I'm not gonna say that. So let's talk about our New Year's resolutions. We've all gone through. Whenever the New Year comes, we say that we're gonna, lose weight. We're gonna save this amount of money. We're gonna travel more. We're gonna start doing this, and we've got all these rules and these resolutions that we've set for ourselves when the New Year comes. Because we have a thing when we think about a reset, we make certain goals to reach. We make certain goals to reach because we, in our mind, the clock is resetting, or this is a new time, or this is the perfect time to set it. But come January 15th, some of us may even make it to the first week of February, we've fallen back into our old habits. Not because we weren't capable of accomplishing what we needed to do, not because we didn't realize that there was an issue that we needed to fix, or we needed to reset, or this was the time and an opportunity to reset. But the main issue many of us fail is because we do not elevate our mentality. We do not increase, we do not rise above our current mentality. We are still stuck in our old ways. We're trying to make new things happen with an old way of thinking, and that's not going to work. So in order to reset, you got to say no. Obviously, the reason I need to reset is because my old way of thinking wasn't working anymore. Because if your old way of thinking was working anymore, what would be the purpose of the reset? If your old way of thinking was getting you higher, if your old way of thinking was pushing you forward, then what would be the purpose of a reset? So you need to know, obviously, those ways aren't working anymore. So I can't go in that way. I got to go in with a new elevated mentality. And I want to say this. Sometimes we get this mixed up. When I was writing this, I wrote this down. That sometimes elevating your mentality, stepping up your mentality is means that you somehow have to take a break or step down from certain positions, step down possibly from leadership, step down from certain relationships, step back from certain situations, take a step back maybe from certain career choices. Sometimes we think that stepping down and stepping back is a means that we're failing, or means that you're giving up, or means that you're unsuccessful. But sometimes you need that in order to elevate your mentality. And this is the image that God gave me. When you see a runner that's going forward, or you see someone that is about to make a big leap, a lot of times you see the runner back up a few steps, and then they're able to leap forward, and then they're able to make that big leap. Why? It's because they got a running start. Them stepping back didn't mean that they were technically going backwards and they weren't going to make it. They needed that to be able to launch forward. So don't think that stepping back is you failing. Sometimes you got to step back in order for you to launch forward in life. Elevate your mentality. Elevate your mentality. So after we realize there's an issue. We elevate our mentality. We're going to go to our S, which is starting new habits, or starting new routines, or starting over. We have to learn how to start over. And that may be easy, like duh, reset means start over, or to reset, or to reprogram. It does. But when you start a new habit, it's important that you have to go through the E that we talked about. One of the reasons we fail at our new habits is because we realize we need a new habit, but then S, we just try to start something new. We don't elevate that way of thinking, therefore, we're still in our old mindset. When I was writing this, it reminded me of, I believe Albert Einstein was the person who originally said this. And he said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a new result. And so many of us are doing that constantly in our lives. We say we're going to start doing this. We say, the new year comes, we're going to do this. Our new birthday comes, we're going to do this. The new relationship comes, we're going to do this. New house comes, we're going to start doing this. And then we find ourselves right back how we were the season before, is because we have not elevated our mentality and really put in that new habit, that new routine, and started over. And when you start over, this is what God reminded me of. When you start over, we have to remember what it means to have a hard reset, or some people call it the manufacturer reset. If you ever had troubles with your computer or with your phone, and you go to start it over with a hard reset, you have to know, at least if you don't know, let me tell you so you don't be surprised. When you delete, when you start over, when you have that manufacturer reset, it's going to delete any settings you have in your phone or your laptop. It's going to delete all your pictures. Most likely, it's going to delete your pictures. It's going to delete your contacts if they're not saved, like back up in an email. It may even delete who you are. You got to retell the computer or the laptop who you are, that you're the owner. Why? It's because when you tell it to manufacture hard set, it goes back to the original apps and the original settings that the manufacturer put it in there, nothing that you programmed. So when we start over, we need to say, God, I want to manufacture a reset. I don't want any of the traumas in me that I've let be there. I don't want any of the old memories that are bringing down my mental health. I don't want any of the unforgiveness. I don't want any of the habits that were keeping me down before. I want to manufacture reset, which means I want you to start my slate clean. I want you to wipe away the things that are keeping me down. I want you to wipe away the things that I may remember that I shouldn't. I want to be able to start afresh, a real manufacturer or hard reset. I love when I looked up what happens with a manufacturer reset online. I loved how it said it erases all settings. And then I remember writing down in my notes, if it erases all settings, that means it needs to be reprogrammed. The point of us resetting and starting a new chapter in our life, or resetting some habits, maybe starting, whatever God's got you in, is that we need to ask God, Lord, I want to be reprogrammed. I don't want to be programmed by the world. The world may have been your previous owner. Your phone may have been your previous owner. Your friends may have been running your life before. But no, when you say, God, I want to manufacture reset, I want you to program me. How should I function? What's the original purpose? And I'll talk about that in a minute, that no one knows the product better than the manufacturer. So if you ever have an issue with the product, who do you go to? You go to the manufacturer. You go to the booklet. You go to the manufacturer's website. You call up the company and you let them know their product isn't working. So us as a instrument, as a vessel, as a product of God, we need to say, Lord, you're the manufacturer and you're the one that can truly reset me. You're the one that knows how I should function. You're the one that knows my purpose, and you're the one that I want to program me. So we realize there's an issue, and be comfortable even if that issue is you, that you need to be the one to change. We need to elevate our mentality, and we need to start new habits and new routines. Start new habits and new routines, a clean slate. Our E today stands for endure. We've got to endure the challenges. One of the reasons when we start over, or we start something new, we try this new thing in life, one of the reasons we fail is because we're a people, for some reason, we can't take any hardships. We are so ready to quit at the first sign of trouble, at the first sign of discomfort, at the first thing that makes us feel like, we can't do it, the first thing that discourages us, we are so quick to quit it. And we have to be a people that say no. Even in this process, I know it's not easy to be reprogrammed. I know it's not easy to try this new way of living. I know it's not easy to get rid of my old habits and my old mentality, but I'm going to endure these challenges. I'm going to endure them because I know that at the end of this, I'm going to be a better person. At the end of this, I'm going to be improved. At the end of this, I'm going to be able to reach whatever goal you have. We have to be people who have to get through. One of the fruits of the spirits is long suffering. I remember a minister told me a long time ago. We were just talking. I think we were at a conference, and she said, "If you really study the word long suffering," she was, she kind of shook her head, and she was just trying to say how many of us don't really understand what that means. And that kind of ties into with endure. Can you endure anything? Or at the first sign of trouble, are you ready to give up and throw into the towel? You know, and I actually did write this down. I wrote, pain and discomfort and uncertainty encourage us to go back to what we know and not push us forward to what we need. Those feelings will always make you want to go back to what was comfortable. Many of us are failing at our resets in life because we're so comfortable. We don't want nothing else hard. We don't want to do anything that's going to make us feel any type of way. Even if we know this isn't the best life we can live, we're comfortable, and at least we're not suffering. And we have to be women who aren't afraid of hardships, aren't afraid of the things of this world, because we know that we're victorious in the Lord, and we know that God is going to see us through. So we got to be women that say, no, I'm going to push forward even if it hurts, because I know that I need this reset. I know that I need this new way of thinking. I need this elevated mentality. I need this new circle of friends and this new ideas, these new wisdoms. I need this new dimension in God. So E was endure the challenges. T is our last one today, ladies and gentlemen. And T stands for, we got to trust the manufacturer's instructions and guidelines. And I kind of touched on that earlier. And the reason I say this is because we fail at resets because we try to just reset ourselves. You cannot do it by yourself. The manufacturer has given us rules. The manufacturer has given us guidelines. The manufacturer has told us how to do it. And where is our instruction booklet? It is our Holy Bible. It is all in there. What you need is all in there. We have to say, God, you are our manufacturer. You're the one that can reset us. You're the one that can reprogram us. You're the one that knows my purpose. I love how in the whenever you get anything, like I just bought a new juicer, and what does it say in there? It tells me what each piece is for, where each piece is supposed to go, if the machine malfunctions, what to do, some troubleshooting. It has all of that in there. And that's exactly what the Bible's got for us. What we're made of, who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to be put together, things that are not supposed to be in us. The Bible gives us some troubleshooting ideas. We have to trust the manufacturer's guidelines. They're already written. We cannot write our own rules. You know, I can't call a company and tell them that their product didn't work and I didn't follow the instructions. I made up my own rules. And it's the same thing spiritually. We have to follow the rules that God has given us. He's the one that knows our bodies and our souls and our spirits and all of that. And you guys know I love me some Pastor Battle, and I am going to steal a little idea from him. In one of his sermons, he said how we were the manufacturer, God was the manufacturer. And he says, when you have an issue and you call the manufacturer, he was like, so why won't we have an issue? Why don't we call on the Lord? And that is what I'm going to leave you with today. When you have this reset, when you go through this manufacturer reset, when you realize that there's an issue, when you ask God to elevate your mentality and your way of thinking, ask God to help you start new habits and new routines and new thought patterns and new whatever you need. Ask God to help you endure these challenges, and trust the manufacturer's rules and guidebook that he wrote over 2,000 years ago, and that is called our Holy Bible. Because I promise you, it's still living and breathing, and I promise you, the instructions are still very clear, and they still work for this thing here that we call a body. Okay, it still works. So let's have our tea, and then I'm gonna leave you. I told you I wouldn't be here long. I was still over here over 30 minutes, but still. T stands for our takeaway. This tea is very good, by the way. I could use a tinge more honey, but it's good. Okay. So T stands for takeaway. The takeaway is that we need a reset in our lives, period. All of us need a reset. Some of us need resets in different areas, but we all need a reset because we're not perfect. And in the reset, we have to realize that there's an issue. That's the first step of resetting. E, we have to elevate our mentality. S, we got to start our new habits. E, we've got to endure our challenges. And T, we got to trust our manufacturer, and that is God. Trust our God, our manufacturer. R.E. for our equipment. You guys know usually I have a scripture or a quote or something, but the E is our Holy Bible because that is our guidebook. Our whole equipment comes from the Bible. So E is the Bible, and A, our assignment for our T today is to ask our manufacturer to teach us how to reset. Okay, we could try to reset ourselves, you're going to fail. Ask the manufacturer to teach us how to reset and to reprogram us for his glory. Don't reprogram yourself. You're flawed, you live in flesh, and you're going to make a mistake and you're going to be right back needing that reset again. So we need to ask God to not only teach us how to reset, but to reprogram us for his glory. Okay? I love you, ladies, and I will see you soon. Stay tuned for I have a busy day tomorrow, so if I don't shoot it tomorrow, it is probably going to be around, hi Mona, my Mona Lisa, that's my Mona Lisa. Yes, Mona Lisa, we're wrapping up, so you got to watch the replay. Oh, Lord, see, I almost knocked the camera down. See, Mona? See, you already know I'm crazy. So yes, that's my Mona Lisa. Thanks for joining Mona Lisa today. So yes, if I don't shoot the video tomorrow, I may shoot it on, no, you're fine, Mona. I may shoot it on Thursday, and it is going to be things that I've learned in my 20s. So since I've just now turned 30, I have a video of things that I have learned in my 20s. I just have to shoot it, and it's a lot of things. I have gone through a lot in my 20s. I've had a very good life, but I've endured a lot. I've gone through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've gone through different circles, different I guess different career things. Like I've done a lot, and I've learned a lot, and I've loved it. I have no regrets. I may sometimes feel like I have regrets, but I really don't, because I wouldn't be me if I took anything back. So stay tuned for that video. It will be things that I have learned in my 20s, and I'm also shooting this video in case I ever had a daughter. And I would want her to see, Mommy, what did you learn in your 20s? And that was, something I want them to see. Like, I shot a video of what I learned in my 20s. So it's going to be cool. We'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for that video in the next 2 days. And I will see you guys next week for Topics and Tea. Love you, ladies. Have a great rest of your evening.